So when we smothered it with the concrete, we're not 100% sure that this thermal runaway is not continuing. It's probably continuing, and hopefully it's going to consume what's left of the batteries underneath, and then it will be over. But there is a possibility that as this continues, that it does break through this Portland cement. If it does, what we're doing right now, we just started. We're digging a 4-foot wide by 6-foot deep trench in the lowest corner of the building just outside of it. So we have a survey crew there giving us elevations. We hired Deconstruction. Kenny Sandino's there. He owns Deconstruction out of Coal City. They're starting to dig right now. We're going to dig a trench in case we have to apply some water to these batteries to keep the reaction down. We were successful with that yesterday because right now we don't have any activity. So if it starts, we can control it if we're quick on it with the water and not have a threat to any of the firefighters or the community. So we're making preparations in case we have to flow water. I hope we don't. I hope we dig this trench and it stays dry. But right now, my operations chiefs are over there. They're digging that trench. We're working with IEMA to get some frac tanks in if we have to pump this water, this runoff water that would be contaminated. And so we can contain it on site and haul it away if we have to. It's not going to be a fast process. It's 1:10. I'm hoping we have the trench done by 4 or 5 o'clock. We have our fire company still there. That's another thing. We are not going to leave the scene. You might see some reduction in fire companies we get the trench built because we know what we need now to accomplish the goal. And like I said, we just left the scene. I'm sorry, that's why we were a little late. I'll tell you what, the Portland cement, it's a fan. I'm a fan of it. It might not have cured it 100%, but boy, it's bought our community a lot of time to figure out where we're going and how we're going. Like I said, we do have a large amount of batteries in there that have not been consumed by the fire, but we also have a large portion that was. So do you guys have any questions that you would have for me? I will do my best to answer them.
What steps are being taken to protect not only the first responders, but also maybe anyone else that's out there that are contractors or workers?
Okay, very good question. We have the air monitoring that's in place. We have 11 sites being monitored. We got a very good report last night about the air quality. It's looking very, very good, the quality. I have not got the report back yet from the sampling right at the front door of the building. When I say the front door, it's an overhead door. I'm waiting for that report. So if we do have to enter the building, it's structure firefighting gear and SCBA, and then it's a gross decontamination of water and soap, Dawn soap. So them are the precautions we're taking, and that's coming right from the EPA. We either have or they're in the process right now. I don't know if they beat me to the scene and left already, or if they're there now. We're doing a water sample on the site too. So, but we don't have any results of that yet. But we want to get a base sample of what's right at the site, so when we do comparisons, we know what we got to have something to compare it to. So.
You said there's no active burn at this moment?
None whatsoever.
Is there a timeline for bringing residents back into their homes?
We actually are talking about that right now. We had a plan earlier, and then when I talked to this engineer, and he gave us a little bit of news we probably didn't want to hear about this thermal runaway. We're reevaluating that because the thing is, we want our residents back in their homes. We want that. We are not wanting people out of their homes. I don't want to be out of my home. I have some first responders that are on the scene that are out of their homes. We are doing everything we can, but we are not going to move people back into an area that is not safe for their health or any safety. And we definitely don't want to move people back and then an hour later say, oh, now could that happen? Absolutely, you could have another emergency, but we want to make sure that if we do shrink it up, or if it's eliminated totally, that we want to make sure it's the right choice. We hear our citizens. I'm one of our citizens. We don't want our people out of their homes, but we want to keep them safe. And when the time comes that we change that, we will let you know, and we'll get it to our people. It's an active scene. There's a lot going on. The fire ground is a living, breathing thing that changes by the minute, and it'll injure and kill firefighters. And that's what's going on over there now. That's an active, living, breathing thing. And we do not want to make a decision out of haste that we're going to regret later.
I know you were able to get a drone inside.
We were.
of where-
Probably seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's where I watched it.
Yes.
So.
Is it possible to get a person, if there's no active burn, are there talks about potentially getting firefighters inside?
We actually have been in there.
Or removing unburned batteries?
Well, the engineer and us talked this morning. There's a hazard with removing them unburned batteries because they have been exposed to heat. So there's a chance that when they're exposed, that this thermal runaway could happen at any time with them batteries. You know, these batteries they're when they start that thermal runaway, it can go now or it could start 72 hours from now. Once that battery is exposed, this is what we were told from an engineer, around 300 degrees, it could start that thermal runaway. And once it starts, you can't stop it. So I don't know if that answers what you're asking. So we asked about removing the undamaged batteries. Right now, we were told it might not be a good idea. Plus, we have to find a contractor that wants to put their people in that position. And I'm not gonna let someone go in there if that building's not safe. We sent our firefighters in last night with the proper protective gear so we could do some final small extinguishment with the Portland cement. Right now, at this moment, I would not feel comfortable with the contractor in there. Could that change this afternoon? Absolutely. We just left the scene. It looks good. It really does. That scene is 100% better than it was earlier.
So whenever residents do go back, let's say they have kids in their yard, or will they have to do anything to their yard because of all the smoke or fumes that might have impacted their house?
We're gonna have a press release from IEMA on that we're gonna give out to everybody. We don't have it now. But we've been talking to them and we're looking at, it looks like it's gonna be water and soap. You know, you're gonna have people that are gonna have dust on their cars. We have a playground set, that's a couple of them over on the side. You know, we're gonna mass decon them with the fire truck. But that's how we've been deconning our stuff on the scene. All right? And I'm sure PIO, Lieutenant Dorfer will have some information as we move forward today from different things.
I know when we spoke on, well, obviously Tuesday, some of the biggest concerns was the smoke and the wind.
Mhm.
We've also seen some rainfall in the forecast, but if we're saying that the fire is extinguished, that's only the.
I'm not saying it's extinguished, we gotta check, because I don't know what's going on underneath.
Okay.
If I knew that, I'd say, yeah, we got it extinguished, but this thermal runaway, it could still be taking place under that Portland cement.
So that means that there's this even bigger step that's going to be cleanup efforts.
Absolutely.
Even after these batteries burn up, how do you properly dispose of them? Is the Illinois EPA going to be with you throughout this process?
We have been assured by every agency, the Illinois EPA, the US EPA, IEMA. I know the governor has talked to the mayor. We've talked to Mr. Kinsinger in Washington. I think Mr. Durbin's talked to him, Tammy Duckworth. Yes, these people have guaranteed me they're gonna be with us in the long haul. We're all in this together. And I can lay my head down tonight if I get a chance and know that these people are gonna be there when I wake up in the morning. Absolutely. No question in my mind. I'm going to be the only one that's going to speak today, so if you have questions, please ask me. So I will do my best to answer them. We are going to have another press briefing later today. I'll have PIO Lieutenant Dorfer give you that time. We have to talk a little bit after this, because we don't want to come back with no information, so we're trying to time the press release with what's happening at the scene, or if we have information for our citizens, you know, whether it's evacuation changes or this decontamination of property as such as just said, so.
So as is now, Chief, the 9 o'clock evacuation will be lifted or will not be lifted?
Right now, there's no change, okay? I don't have a clear answer for you right now, because the conditions are still changing at the scene, and we want to make sure we're making the right choice. We really need to talk. When I say we, people behind me and us, we need to talk.
How will residents be notified?
We'll notify, we'll either call a press conference, we'll use our local media also, because most of our people listen to local media right away, and then our Chicago media, absolutely. We will stand in front of you and tell you if we change that. I'm not gonna send you just a text. All right, thank you very much. And Lieutenant Dorfler will let you know the next press conference time after we get together and figure it out here. Thanks.